Quick round of applause for Mamadou. I'll start.
Hello, everyone. Good. How are you today?
Good.
Okay. Sorry to stand between your Friday night, your Friday afternoon, and your weekend. And thank you for those who have the courage and the strength to be here at this time of the event. So, round of applause to you guys, right? So before I start, to make sure that you're not asleep, I wanted to make sure that there's a word that actually I discovered here in this country. I used to live here a decade ago, and I lived here for for almost 12 years, right? Mostly based in Johannesburg, but spending a lot of my weekends in Cape Town. And it's a word called, that you all know, right? It's called Ubuntu, right? So before I start, I want to feel the Ubuntu here. I want to have that sense. So when I say Ubuntu, you repeat after me, but really it needs to come from the chest, yeah? Okay? So after me, Ubuntu. 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 Thank you. Thank you. Nice. Round of applause to you guys. Thank you. So I think we can go to the slides, to the first slide. Next slide, yeah, after the cover. So my name is Mamadou Kwidjim Touré. I'm originally from Cameroon, right? I was born there. Parents were immigrants, spent time in France. I'm an investment banker by background, right? So started my career with KPMG in France and then BNP Paribas, mergers and acquisitions, government advisory. And then joined the World Bank, IFC, and was sent here in South Africa, in Johannesburg. I was in charge of investment in telecom, media, and technologies for Sub-Saharan Africa. Made the first investment in the world in mobile payment, mobile money. It was even before M-Pesa, right? And got involved later on at the very early days of M-Pesa. Along my career as investment in tech, I think two of my investments became unicorn and one got listed on the New York Stock Exchange. But as I looked into the space, after that I joined GE, where I was managing director in charge of investment and project finance for Africa. One thing came for me that was a bit of a challenge, right? Is how do we combine financial and social return, right? How do we apply the very philosophy of Ubuntu, of I am because we are, in the way we interact with one another? How do we deliver emancipation and shared prosperity, leveraging on technology, which is the space I knew best? And the point was to start the foundational basis for inclusive growth. So basically, is it working? Where do I need to point? Okay. So there's a paradox of wealth built paradox of poverty built on unrealized wealth. Africa's GDP, $4 trillion. Global GDP, $90 trillion. But Africa's natural resources is more than $120 trillion. So how do we unlock this wealth that is untapped, right? Africa is not poor. Africa is wealthy, but Africa is illiquid. How do we turn that situation into prosperity and liquidity and leverage on it to have people grow, emancipate? So point is, we always think that capital is only one. Actually, there is 6 to 7 forms of capital. You have the social capital, and you can see this today, like your social network is your net worth, right? You have cultural capital. Think of this. All the music in the world has, 98% of the music in the world has African roots. But Africans' revenues out of the global music industry is 1%, which is insane, right? You also have natural capital, which is what I was referring with the natural resources. And you have human capital. your knowledge, who you are, and that the Ubuntu in you, which means people, you have that capital that people like you and trust you. And that has also value. There's one thing, of course, historical capital, right? But there's one special thing about all those forms of capital, is that today, you can effectively tokenize, right? Think of a musician, right? You don't have a producer. You can emit a coin for your community to support your recording in studio and have a smart contract for them to share the revenue as your record grows and builds, right? When it comes to natural capital, you don't need to extract the resources today, and that's what we help some nations do. We can tokenize your lithium resources without you having to extract them, so you can protect the environment but still benefit from the liquidity of sitting on those resources with a token that you can convert only later when you start only extracting a portion, and you can develop your country with that. So now that you have sevenfold the form of capital and you have blockchain technology, this is the opportunity in a lifetime for prosperity if we do it properly. So who we are in a nutshell. We are a fintech company, right? And we build trust through and secure the growth of people, nations, and institutions by leveraging on blockchain and AI. We've launched a gold-backed technology, a gold-backed coin called Give Gold. We also do advisory, and we work with corporates in order to help them through our tokenization platform. Our Give Gold, our partners, one of our investors is 500 Global. We're finalizing discussion with KPMG as a partner. Our gold is stored and audited by Harris and Trotter, who is the largest digital asset audit firm in the world, in Stuttgart, Copenhagen, Zurich, Dubai, Singapore. The gold is redeemable, and we're the only gold-backed token that effectively is compliant within the MiCA regulation in Europe, right? And that's also a very major advantage in terms of being able to reassure customers and serve different partners. Now, when you look at gold, when I arrived in South Africa, my first trip to South Africa, I was very young, but if I tell you how much the rand was, you would be shocked, right? I think the rand was around 6 to 7 to the dollar, or 5 to 6, right? And a decade more later, it's almost 20, right? So, but if you think the rand has lost money value to the dollar, it has lost probably 3 times more to gold. So what if we allowed people to buy gold from the comfort of their mobile phone from as low as 10 cents? We did it, we cracked it, it's live, right? It's available on exchanges, it's regulated, and people can redeem it from as low as 10 grams, meaning that you can claim your gold anytime, and you can have a fractional ownership and send it to anyone. Now, our gold-backed token is called GIFT, Gold International Fungible Token. And we've had, I mean, we put it as a preliminary test to the market. We have more than $100 million trading volume now. With Ubuntu group of companies has served more than 30,000 clients, led transactions in precious metals exceeding $300 million, right, through one of our subsidiaries. And those customers are from 95 nationalities. What I wanted you to do, if you're bored, and even if you're not, you can scan the QR code here, right? And it will give you a sense of our wallet. The beauty with our wallet is that you don't need, and we've thought about people in Africa, whether they're in urban or rural areas, you don't need to understand your private key, public key or whatever. You just load with your socials. And it gives you access to a myriad of opportunities of wealth creation and prosperity. I wanted to show you maybe the first video. Can you please play the first video?
Digital gold you can trust. It looks like any digital asset, but it behaves like real gold. Every unit of gift gold is backed by actual metal in real vaults, tracked and verified with modern cryptography, so anybody can confirm the facts without guessing. Here's how it works. When we bring a bar into a vault, we record its serial number, its assay, and the vault it belongs to. Each gift gold token is uniquely linked to the serial number of the gold bar from which it was minted. This means every token carries its own unique serial number, traceable all the way back to the bar. You can think of this as its DNA, its fingerprint. Think of it as a family tree. That proves the bar is part of a specific, audited batch. That fingerprint is published on a public ledger. When gift gold is minted, the system checks two things. There must be the physical metal in a known vault, and the bar's fingerprint must exist in the approved batch. Both checks must pass before a single unit is created. That means every coin in circulation can be traced back to a specific bar, a specific vault, and an independent record. Want your gold in hand? Coming soon. You can convert your gift gold into an on-chain, non-fungible gold bar certificate tied to the same serial and weight, then redeem it from the vault after standard compliance checks. We run the marketplace, we do KYC, and the custody and delivery happen with trusted partners. For investors, liquidity that's auditable. For collectors, the option to hold physical metal in your digital wallets. For regulators, an auditable, documented trail from vault to holder. Gift, gold you can see, proof you can trust. Gift gold is secure, transferable at any time, from anywhere available at your fingertips. To buy gift gold, visit utribe.one.
And I'm sure you're wondering, what are they doing with their phone? What's happening there? But I got a good surprise for you. We're going to do a demo of what's happening on the phone, a quick one. Can you play the next video, please? So that you can be immersed in the experience, being somebody who doesn't even know crypto. Anybody can play. Please.
Right away, we can create an account, either by linking one of over 400 supported wallets like MetaMask or Coinbase, or simply signing in with Google. For this walkthrough, I'll go with Google. A quick form pops up. We fill in our first and last name, address, and zip code. Just a few seconds, and our Ubuntu Tribe account is live. Now we land on the main dashboard, where everything happens. Here, we can buy, swap, or sell gift gold. Funding is simple and flexible. USDC, USDT, mobile money, credit or debit card, even Bitcoin. We can track the real-time price of gold right here, even see how it's performed over the past 5 years. And if there's ever a question, our built-in AI assistant is ready with instant answers. Want to share the experience? Invite friends with your referral link, and you both earn rewards. That's gift gold on Ubuntu Tribe. Gold ownership made simple, global, and accessible from anywhere.
So you're wondering, all those charts, are they real, like on the screen? So let me give you, how much did you think gold gained since 2000, from 2000 to now? 13,000%. Right? So, I'm sorry, 1,300%, sorry. 13,000, that would be like, even me, I won't be here, right? So, just this year alone, 60%, way beyond Bitcoin. Over the past 5 years, gold gained more than 120%, right? This is the one thing that everybody knows. Did you know that any elite troops, at least the top elite troops in the world, in your survival kit, they put an ounce of gold? Do you know why? Because wherever you're going to be found, right, wherever you are, even if you end up in the Amazon forest somewhere in the Congo Basin, that ounce of gold will bring you home. Right? It's the one universal thing that has been known by everyone, and that even my grandmother or even kids, anyone refers to. And we want to bring it to anyone from the comfort of their mobile phone. No complexity. We're even bringing USSD, right? So that anyone has a chance. We create equal access for opportunity, regardless of place of birth or wealth at birth. The fact that we're regulated by the top and most complicated regulator in the world tells you the level of detail we went to become the only fully regulated, compliant gold-backed token in the toughest jurisdiction. We should get our VARA license in the GCC soon. That corresponds also to Singapore. But beyond that, here is one thing that we have a whole ecosystem, a wallet, an academy also. We talked about AI. You know, finance is based on two things: asymmetry of information and collateral. We just fixed the collateral problem by being able to tokenize not just your wealth, your culture, your creativity, your history. But there's one thing. Not everybody has the same access to information. Not everybody has Aladdin from BlackRock. So how do we fix that? We personalize AI tutoring embedded in the wallet that can guide you in financial literacy, digital literacy, in a way that you can become an expert at your own pace, having direct conversations. That's how we create the level playing field, by breaking the asymmetry of information and giving everybody to be able to copy, trade, the best trader on Wall Street. And guess what? You know where I learned blockchain personally and why it encouraged me to be in places like here today? I learned blockchain under a coconut tree in Côte d'Ivoire. True story. Yes, I got master's degree. Yes, I went to Harvard. But the toughest thing was I didn't need a Harvard degree. It means that anybody can play. This is the chance of a generation and the first opportunity in centuries, if not millennia, for a massive wealth transfer for those who are willing to look deeper into it and to use assets that they know and trust and that are regulated, right? So, I want to go back to the, are we already? One thing about that we say, so like I said, we teach before we tokenize. We have an Ubuntu Academy for any form and quality of knowledge that helps you get there. And we have a learn to earn model. We all structured around impact. So instead of having those kids playing video games, let them play to learn. And when they learn, they earn gold. And as gold grows, they earn the value of assets, which is different from the value of money, right? And this Ubuntu Academy is already available in local languages, in Swahili. We're preparing it in Zulu and Sutu, right? And in other languages around the world, so that your language does not become a barrier for you to grow and emancipate as an individual. And then when you look at the future, comes one thing. Everybody, I mean, you just saw, and even me, I was a bit frustrated. Bitcoin just hit 95,000, right? And I was like, I hope somebody didn't break the Bitcoin, right? Because there's this whole narrative about Q-Day, quantum, and so on. What if, like the Bible says, the last will be the first? And you know how we trick that? We built one of the only quantum-enhanced wallet on the planet. There's only 5 of them. We're one of them. It has quantum random generated numbers embedded. So that if something bad happens in 1 year, in 6 months, in 2, in 3 years, those who didn't have that much will still have at least something. Because we know all those very advanced, complex stuff will be reserved for the happy few. That's not what we want. We want everybody to be able to save, preserve, and build their wealth. So, one last important thing, right? We're not just tokenizing gold. We're going to tokenize silver, platinum. You're hearing tariffs war and rare earth stories. Is that the world is at a crossroad today, right? And our responsibility, and that's why we chose the name Ubuntu, which I owe to this land, right, is to leave this place better than where we found it, and if possible, to die richer than where we were born, right? But we don't take it to our tomb. And in that sense, if we can redefine value from values and remember the 7 forms of capital, appreciating the diversity of what an individual can bring and find a way to monetize it for them to be rewarded for it, it makes something extremely powerful. I was actually, Lauren from Ripple, we were having a quick conversation earlier, and she spoke about Internet of Value. For me, I completely agree with that principle, right? And I would even take it further in terms of the Internet of Values. What is the Internet of Values? You see, today everything is measured in terms of green paper, whether it's dollar, maybe rand is a bit yellowish. I don't know exactly, I can't remember, maybe there's a new note, but it has disintermediated our relationship with nature. So we put every value into that thing and make it a God, disregarding that Mother Nature is actually the provider. And in that sense, you'll see where I'm going. I know you might sound lost now. In that sense is that when you think of it, we lose the value of things, right? If you make money your God, then everything else has no value. But in that sense, it has created us to destroy our environment, to disrespect our peers for that piece of paper. But now, if through tokenization, suddenly I can tokenize water, I can tokenize carbon credit, I can tokenize biodiversity, I can tokenize communities that has value. I restore value where it's due. And in that sense, you shift the mindset that we've been brought into that mindset of scarcity, the fear of lack that led us to do wars and fight this, etc., into a mindset of abundance that restored the very principle of Ubuntu, that reminds us that everything is interconnected, that everyone and everything that we touch has value. So the gold tokenization that you see is the first step of a multiple million miles journey that we can only achieve if everyone brings their piece. That's why it was so inspiring to hear so many of you sharing their new project token and so on. So I wanted to thank you. We have a say, our baseline is together we rise. And I am because we are. Thank you very much. We got a good surprise for you for tonight. So we're doing an after party from at 10 to 12 at Enzo Club tonight. You guys are all welcome. Please bring your badge. And we're certainly looking forward to have a party. So we do one everywhere we go. We did one in Singapore, and we want the Cape Town party to beat the Singapore party. I want you to see how the Singapore one was. Please, music maestro. Can you play, please? So this is your challenge. Thank you. See you tonight, 10 p.m. Enzo. If you have a question, I think I'm available. We done, no? Or somebody has a question? Any question?
No. Me? No.
Yes?
Okay.
It's a very good question. And it's, okay. So it's because most of the, let's say, most advanced vaults in the world have somewhat been built in those parts of the world, right? So it doesn't mean that it will stay like that, okay? And it also, when you look for those kind of regulations, you want to be in the safest possible place. But we're discussing with some top leaders on the continent who are building even more advanced vaults, and also with some central banks who have equivalent. It's actually part of the process. And more African leaders and corporates and banks want the goal closer to home, especially when you see how messed up things are getting in some part of the world. So we started with the low-hanging fruit, if I may. Right? So yeah.